And finally tonight, comedian Lou Perez has a brand new book. And here's the good news. If you buy it and leave it on your desk at work, the HR department will be thrilled because you'll check a whole lot of important boxes in your DEI training. Here, watch.
If you're like me and you're looking for ways to support the Latinx community, there is no better way than by supporting Latinx authors like Lou Perez, author of That Joke Isn't Funny Anymore. I recommend buying it on Amazon and leaving a 5-star review. Now, I haven't read the book yet. Whether I like it or not, I am bound to give it a 5-star review. To do otherwise would be wrong, because once again, Lou Perez is Latinx. We see you, we love you, we want to protect you.
Oh, hold on. Wait, forget what I said. No, don't leave this on your desk. You'll get canceled. You'll get fired. It'll be bad. Lou Perez, thanks for joining us tonight. The joke isn't funny anymore. You talk about the death of comedy here, but then you talk about the rebirth. Let's start with the death. What killed comedy?
Yeah, I think one of the problems with comedy is that it became, the personal is political. We've heard that so many times. And I sort of track back in my book to around 2016 when Donald Trump won election. And I started to see all these pieces about, what would the role of comedy be under a President Trump? And for me, I was thinking, well, shouldn't it just be the same role it's always been, like under a President Obama, a President Clinton, a President Bush? And then basically what I realized is that Trump was seen as this existential threat. And with an existential threat, you have to use all the weapons you have to take that person down. Now, if you're a journalist, well, maybe you're using columns. If you're a comedian, then you might have to sling some jokes or some punchlines in order to take down this threat. Yeah. And I think comedy got caught up in that, and it no longer became about trying to be funny. It became about how can we take this person down.
What happened, though? You hear comedians always talk about how great Lenny Bruce was and how great George Carlin was. Lenny Bruce and George Carlin wouldn't play this game. They wouldn't go woke and be, made into some sort of weapon to use their comedy just to root for one side or the other. They'll find humor where there's humor.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I would say that, there is a tendency when you look around at some of the edgiest comedians that have come up, like say in the 90s and the early 2000s, and to look at them sort of turn the other way and no longer be the people who were willing to take on all sides.
Yeah.
So in a way, it's like George Carlin is one of my gods, and he's sort of, while I was upset that he passed, it's like there's a chance that maybe had he continued, he may have gone the other way. So who knows?
So then you talk about the rebirth of comedy, because I would think a good comedian will look at what's going on now and look at the fact that there's some things you're not supposed to make fun of and find humor in that. Is that what we're starting to see now?
Oh, totally. I think, for one thing, I think what's so positive about the time that we're living in is when it comes to technology, comedians have the opportunity to get their work out there like never before. Just what we're doing right now is just such an incredible advancement. And you're able to get your stuff out there. You're able to do podcasts. You're able to shoot videos. Your phone, even if it's broken like mine is, you're able to shoot your own stuff and to grow your fan base and your community. So I think that's one of the most positive aspects of it. And then, like you said, when it comes down to material too, I mean, it is just boundless.
Yeah. Well, and here's the other thing, though. I mean, we're talking about politically slanted humor one direction or the other. There's something incredibly refreshing about seeing a whole set from a stand-up where they don't talk about politics at all. I mean, right now, if you watch the late night shows, you'd think that everyone's life revolves around what the headlines are at CNN. That ain't the case for most people.
Yeah, and thankfully, that ain't the case. And I think most people who live their lives offline understand that. It's really healthy to have relationships that aren't based on whether you're voting for the Republicans or the Democrats. And I think that's something that more people should look into. Definitely, especially if you want to make say a marriage work. Your life should revolve around other things than just talking politics.
Yeah, amen to that. Well, thank you for writing the book, and we'll continue to keep you on our radar. That Joke Isn't Funny Anymore is the book by Lou Perez, comedian, and I think it's going to speak to a lot of the things you've been thinking as you sit down and watch late night television, sadly. But it's on the upswing. Comedy's back. You just have to look for it in the right places. That's it for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. In the meantime, I'll see you on the radio.